जैसे हालात जब तक प्रैक्टिस नहीं होगी तब तक कोई नहीं वकील के साथ क्या कुछ नहीं यार सब ऐसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ सब उसकी नीड अलग है
I'm excellent. Excellent. Sounds great. Some tea. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's like late morning. I went for a run and I had a first call meeting with somebody who I thought was going to be a potential client, but that turned out to be a bit of a bust. And I'm making some tea and I'm just going to continue working today. I have a new SD card. That was really disappointing last week, but you know what? I just chalk it up to the full moon. It was really one of those weeks where everything techie just kind of glitches. So, do you notice any difference with the quality? No, didn't think so. Okay, so yeah, today I have to write the script for my podcast. I am continuing to send the media kit out, which is, really interesting. It's really interesting to see the response people have when you take the initiative and kind of showcase what you do and say, hey, this is who I am. We have very strong anti-spam laws in Canada, and so this technically can be considered like spam, but so I have to make sure that I send messages through certain portals like LinkedIn to sort of let people know, okay, I'm going to be sending out my kit, just wanted to connect and make sure that you are aware and you know that I'm available. So anyhow, that's that. Let me get back to it. My tea's almost ready. Fridge smells bad. Ugh. Changed up the look because I wasn't liking the red lip today. So, earrings and neutral. I have a more neutral look today. Enjoy the pickle. A bit of a story time. The biggest issues that seem to be occurring right now with clients making requests or potential employers making requests for me, or we're just all talking. My biggest hurdle right now doesn't seem to be either my personality or my work ethic or the work that I actually am doing. It's actually not the issue. I'm getting rejections now that are stating things like, this job might not be as interesting or as exciting as you hoped. This has been an issue where people are trying to determine what's exciting for me and what isn't exciting for me without my input. So you've got people who are making decisions based on not the work, not the character, nothing that's tangible. They're just making assumptions, being like, well, we thought you'd be bored, or yeah, wow, you've had such an exciting, eclectic background. I don't know if you'll have a place here or you'll be fulfilled by the work that you're doing. Yeah, projection is real. People who are concerned with my level of entertainment at work are not concerned for my well-being. They just don't understand Black culture. Some outdated stereotype. They're projecting their lack of culture onto my professional life. This kind of nonsense, like, no. Let's stop the microaggressions of projecting garbage tropes onto Black people. So if everybody's making that decision for me, some people are even saying, oh no, this role is far too junior for you. It's like, well, I applied, so I obviously didn't think the role was too junior, but we're here. And if I'm willing to do the work and you're willing to compensate me, I don't see where the problem is. I can read out one of the emails that an agent sent back to me about a particular role that I was interested in. And she was like, I know you have print experience, but the role has such a heavy focus on print. I wasn't sure if that was something you would enjoy on a long-term basis. This is why women of color are not getting work, like legitimately. I've had the conversation I had this morning where the interviewer was just intimidated by my background, but I was like, listen, I've applied to this particular role. What's the problem? I had another friend where I was like, oh, hey, you've got some opportunities. Hey, I'd love to throw my hat in the ring. First thing she sent me was, this would be too junior for you, no? And I was like, I'm over it. It is not for others to determine the direction that my career path takes. It is not for others to determine whether or not I'm going to have fun and enjoy my job. Are you enjoying your job? Most of us don't enjoy our jobs. We enjoy our lives, but our jobs are not where we source our fun. I don't source my fun from my work. That's a fact. I source my fun from really other sources, but my expectations of work, they're still fulfilling. The work itself has some fulfillment there. It's not going to enlighten and enrich my life if I'm working on animated HTML banners. I'm not expecting life-changing and monumental things from these tasks. That's not where I get my enjoyment. That's not where I get my fulfillment. That's not where I get my peace and my clarity. There has to be balance. But when people are making these kind of statements to me of like, I don't think you would have enjoyed this on a long-term basis, let me decide that. If I've already shown up and I'm like, hey, I'm ready to do it, let me do the work. So the way I responded to that particular comment was like, enjoyment of the role is not my focus at the moment. This company has a strong reputation in the industry and I wanted to be part of that. When you work for the right companies, even if you're working for the right companies for only like 6 months or for short-term contracts, that looks really great on your resume. To start off my morning with that kind of BS kind of comment, it's like, it sets the tone for the week. As this has been occurring so often, I want to take a break from vlogging, have a bit of respite, because it's starting to affect everything. It's starting to affect my sleep, it's starting to affect my mood, but right now I'm really over people being intimidated by my background and my experience and making statements that ultimately shift the control of my future into their hands. The rejection that they're giving me is based on boredom, entertainment. These are subjective. Anyways, why is someone with my energy and experience and background struggling to get contracts? I didn't come back to my home city for my career in every type of way. Every time I try to take a step in a different direction, it's like a dead end. I didn't come back here for this. And I'm now wondering, am I in the wrong city to be the kind of freelancer that I want to be? Comments down below if you have any thoughts. I'd love to know. Okay, it's almost 2:30 and I have another interview with a company. It's quite a big company, very well known, international, and I think they're expanding their offices in Toronto. We'll see. The conversation is with a director, and we'll see what they're looking for, and we'll see if I've got it. Okay, so let's see if we can sort that out. Doing it the old school way, directly. Can you hear me better now? Okay. Okay, perfect. This is the future? Sometimes I don't even know why I tell people I work in tech, or I have worked in tech, because I am such a dork when it comes to technology. I just got off a 30-minute call with the company that wants to work with me. It was a really great conversation. Things were flowing. Fabulous. There were some technical issues, as always with Chrome. I have some thoughts, Chrome, and we had to use partially the phone and also with video chat, but the chat was muted. It's a long story. That being said, I hung up the phone and then I did like little fisty pumps. I was like, yeah, that was a great interview, but I forgot that the camera was still on. Now do you understand why I have no friends? I know why. I know I'm such a dork. I was like, what can you do? It's done. But it was a good meeting. The next part is to chat. She wants to see me to the next stage, and they're going to make decisions quite quickly. They're not going to spend too much time. So today I'm just going to have to prepare, just in case, if they contact me today, that I'll prepare to have a big conversation tomorrow or by Thursday. I've been making I'm trying to create content for the Clock app that I feel like I really need to get out there, and I'm finishing up the script for the podcast this week. It was inspired by the book club read. Go watch the previous videos to see what book I was talking about, and I think it's a really hot topic right now. Don't want to spoil it. Just when this video is out, I please encourage you to check out the podcast as well. I'm going to be creating some digital content that can be downloaded pretty soon. So hopefully that can be done by this week. I think I can be of help to people who are looking for opportunities, because you know how often I interview. I talk about it all the time. I'm always interviewing. I'm always talking. And it's this CV and plus my portfolio, but primarily this CV is what gets me through the door. And I think I should share that with the community. This is how I want to build communities, by adding value somewhat and sort of sharing what I know works. That was a very good conversation. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed. In bocca al lupo. In the wolf's mouth. What is it? Break a leg. Break a leg. Update Linktree. Write script for podcasts. Hi. Okay, I just came back from a run. I'm trying to do like a run every day for this week, just to do like a dopamine pick me up. Yeah. It's Wednesday. I have to prepare for second interview that I have with this particular company. So that's what today's going to be about. I also have to finish up my podcast. I'm not sure I'm going to post it this week. I'll try. No guarantees. What else? That's it. Anyways, okay. I'll check in with you later. Bye. No podcast today. Sorry for those who listen. Ooh, everything's going off. The reason being, it's kind of a heavy topic. I thought I'd be able to talk about it with ease, but it's too much of a stop and start. So I think I might have to reframe the concept of this podcast in order for it to be less emotional, because it's a doozy. No podcast this week. I have to maybe only record parts. I might only be able to have to record parts every day. It's so important to talk about these things, and it's hard to talk about it no matter what your emotional space is. And I'm not being cryptic, it's about fertility, but it's so challenging to talk about this particular topic. Even if you are in a really good mindset, it's a hard topic, it's a touchy topic, but I think it's an important topic to talk about. So yeah, no podcast this week. I didn't realize this one was gonna need like 2 weeks to do. Bear with me, it's gonna be worth it. I wish my mouth was not so dry. I'm severely dehydrated. I'm trying to drink more water, but I can't. I'm heading to bed soon. It's 10 o'clock now. But, yeah. And I haven't heard back about the interview, when it actually is scheduled. So I'm just sort of like a lady in waiting. I'm tired. I need to sleep. See you tomorrow. Talk about setting me up for failure. Let me show you something. I just received notification at 10:08 p.m. that my interview's tomorrow at 12. That's red flaggy. I stopped taping, and then I heard the notification, and I don't know. What should I do? What would you do? That's totally setting me up for failure, to send me a notification at 10 p.m. What if I didn't get it? What if I just shut everything off and went to bed like I said I was going to do, and what normal people do? I would have woken up tomorrow morning and had a notification that I have a 90-minute interview in like 3 hours. It's a test I'm gonna fail. Fuck. You know what sucks is that in the normal world, if a client would send me a message after a certain time of day, I have it included in our contract that if a message is sent past a certain time of day, then it doesn't get addressed until the following business day. In this interview process, in this position of where you're trying to be cooperative and work with an organization, this is a very bad sign. People sending work-related emails at 10 p.m. With the expectation that it's going to be delivered by noon the next day. I'm not on call. I don't even work for these people yet. So I feel like I said in the email I just sent, I said, listen, I'm trying to set myself up for success here. And in order to do that, you need to give me more notification, because 10 p.m. is well beyond office hours. Oh my God, I'm stuttering because this is what happens when my anxiety gets high. I'm trying to get into the company and trying to land this job, but I also need to set boundaries. And it's this, is it inappropriate to sort of say, no, we have to reschedule, kindly, warmly. Thank you very much, warmest regards, we need to reschedule. And I'm like, is this a test? Is this some sort of like test, or is this just the way that they work? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a very strong example of what it is to be a Black woman in business. I do not know of anyone else other than Black women who always have to be on high alert. This anxiety, all of this is wrapped up into this moment. Anything in this entire vlog describes best what it is to be a woman of color in business. It's this moment right here. I try to be as realistic as possible, not to show only happy, joyous moments, but that anxiety, that fear that you might have blown it based on setting a boundary with people who are obviously taking advantage of your time. I've decided to cut out everything that happens after this moment, because not everything needs to be on the internet. No one needs to see all of the anguish and the confusion and other things that occur. It's turning into a grumpy, miserable, oh cheers, grumpy, miserable vlog. Ugh. No, I forgot sugar. Yeah. It's not, that's good news. It doesn't work. It's not how it's supposed to work. Have a good evening.
I'm ready to tackle this day, I say.
Hello. Back again. Ooh, that's better. It's the day after, and I have an update on the email I sent from last night. They sent an apology and they said they were going to reschedule. Now, I don't know if it was a systems error, I don't know, but the fact that they were open to rescheduling, because, you know, my email was fair, as I said. It was firm but fair. So we'll see what happens. That might be a problem on their back end of like getting these people together again. But at the same time, I can't be concerned with that. I don't work there yet. So that issue is resolved. It's Thursday. Got all my exercises. Just do the morning stuff to kind of get the day moving. I don't really talk about things like my faith or that kind of stuff. But last night I had sort of like a talking to God. Talk to God. Let's hope today's a better day. I feel better about today. This hiring process has really been a test. It's a test of my patience. It's testing my limits of my kindness. I'm not the nicest person all the time. That's my default, to be kind, but I'm not super nice all the time, because I think you have to be firm in certain occasions. I shouldn't have to be concerned before I even get in the door that when I try to set boundaries with people. It's okay to say, no, you don't get to send me an email at 10 o'clock. If I did that when I lived in Switzerland, what? When I was living in Switzerland, when I was living in Europe, you don't send work emails past 6 o'clock. That's a big no-no. My former roommate lost out on an opportunity to work with a very, very respected casting agent because he sent an email on Sunday. And like in Switzerland, that's a big, big, big no-no. Like you do not send emails after certain hours, but you definitely do not send emails on weekends, and particularly on a Sunday, because everything is closed on Sunday. Sunday is considered like family day. It's like everything shuts down. You can't even you can only go to the train station to buy food. So when he did that, I was like, kind of serves you right, because he didn't want to respect anybody's boundaries. He was that person who was like crazy, eccentric actor, and he thought that he could just cross boundaries with everyone, and it backfired. So yeah, I'm not as super strict as that. I might respond on occasionally, but we have to get to a certain point first. I have to be paid to work with you. Also, another thing is when you, as a freelancer, you learn never start the work until the client has given you everything. You do not start any of the work until you have all assets in hand. You make that clear in the contract. You make that clear before you start the work. You make it clear from the get-go. And some clients think that's like, oh, you're testing me. It's like, no. If you said you have this project has to be done within 2 weeks and I haven't received everything that I need from you, the work doesn't get started. We're not, and also if you don't pay me, like you never start the work before you're paid, that is a big, big, big one as well. Never start work until you're paid. But if they don't pay you within a certain time frame, then you have to submit a change order, and you're like, listen, you haven't paid the retainer, you haven't paid the 50%, whatever it is that you agreed to down, none of the work will start until this happens. I'm letting you know. So setting boundaries as a freelancer exists. You can put a lot of boundaries within contracts, you can put a lot of boundaries everywhere. But within the hiring process, it's like you're at the mercy of these people. And I'm like, I can't believe I was fretting about an email setting up an interview time that was so inappropriately late in the evening, with the expectation of, yeah, technically it was over 12 hours that they gave me notice, but sleeping hours and past 10 o'clock doesn't count. I find that to be very problematic. Anyways, this particular instance, it's getting resolved and they're going to send me a new time. I'm prepared. You know that presentation that I had prepared for a previous interview? I'm using the same one because it's a good one. And this was about clarity and kind of making it clear from the get-go where my limits are, where they start and where they end. So yeah, okay, let's drink some tea. This is a very preachy one. I might have to break up these preachy. Anyways, oh, nose was running. Let's get some tea. Okay. Oh. Are you okay, camera? Are you guys okay? Oh, that was a big fall. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so just got the email now. It's confirming that the meeting has been moved. The interview has been moved to Monday from 11 until 12:30. It's still, I don't even know if it's a pity interview, whatever. I'm excited because I want this job. And I'm okay with like declaring that it's a job I want, but we'll see. So cool. Okay, so I'm gonna still work on doing some tweaks for my presentation to make sure that it's like very, very good. And as a promise that I have to make to myself, I will never fret over setting boundaries with people. If that means I miss out on an opportunity because I've set a boundary that is a very reasonable one and I've been clear, so be it.
So to kick things off, we want to hear from you. Tell us where you're joining us from. There should be a heat map that's popping up any second now.
Addressing systemic barriers to employment advancement and the inclusion of Canadian Black women in the sector of marketing.
They're deeper, they're bolder, and they're far greater.
I'm so glad that spaces like this event exist because it allows Black women to have a safe space to talk to each other about these topics that can often be taboo in our communities.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. A slight misconception with the macro versus micro influencer that we mentioned. You can still get paid if you have under 50,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't necessarily dictate your ceiling.
Yeah, I'm seeing people as low as like 4,000 or 5,000 followers, making, 6-figure incomes. My sister is a full-time influencer and she has 11,000. Make it a way to
7.
professionally represent yourself on one page.
7.
Gives your stats, your analytics, all the insights.
More than 89% of those over the age of 12 have had 2 doses. 65% of eligible adults have had 3 doses. Let me pivot from public health to just at a macro level in downtown, and then let me spend a lot of time delving into the neighborhood. Around 20 years ago, we had 130,000 people who lived downtown. Today, it's 270,000 people. In the next 20 years, it will grow to 500,000 people. That's a good thing. We want a vibrant, dense downtown. We need more housing for a growing population. That's a good thing. But alongside growth, we need to ensure that downtown remains livable, acceptable. So affordability alongside livability is a critical priority.